Hi, I'm Mark. This is my February review for Libra Sun sign and Libra rising. We start the month on a bit of a downer because Mercury is retrograde. This always brings a lot of delays and confusion when Mercury is retrograde. People don't understand things so clearly. Messages get misunderstood. And this is in your house of creativity, so you may have a creative block. If you're trying to do creative things, you may have a bit of a blockage there that you need to overcome. Because also on the 1st you have an aspect between Saturn and Chiron. And this aspect runs to the end of the month, and this is in your 7th house of other people and your creative house. So now there's responsibilities and duties you need to look at. The 5th house is about children and lovers, so there may be responsibilities to these and other people, because Chiron's in your 7th house, so there could be family responsibilities. But these need looking at, and you need to find out where you can make things better and run more smoothly. Also with Saturn, it's about authority figures, so there may be chance here now to look at authority figures and how they fit in. Maybe blockages that you have in your creative side are due to authority figures, and maybe being too critical of you and you're not able to express yourself as well as you should. Also on the 1st, the Sun makes an aspect to Mars, and normally this is good because these two work well together, but this is a square aspect, so this is going to bring some tension. This can be a little bit challenging. You could get a little bit angry or irritable today, or someone else could equally get angry with you, and then you'd have to look at projection and how you project that onto them. Mars is in your 8th house, so this could affect shared resources or money that comes in from an outside source. There could be problems here. But then on the 4th, Jupiter makes an aspect also to the 8th house with the Black Moon Lilith. The Black Moon Lilith has a shadow wherever she goes. Jupiter will enlighten that shadow and make it so big that you can't avoid it. So this is a good time to work on any 8th house issues. This is life, death and regeneration, shared resources. This may highlight a fear around that area, and this will give you an opportunity to work with that. You can grow through this if you can learn what it is, accept it, and then you can grow and move forward. On the 6th, the Sun makes an aspect to the Moon's nose, and this is the first of 4 aspects from different planets during February, so this is quite auspicious. The Moon's nose are our destiny, our way forward. The North Node is in your 9th house, so now it's about learning. Sun is in your 5th house, so that's creativity. This is a time of creative learning. This is great to get in touch with things now that will benefit you in the future. There could also be plans for travel in the future, and also there could be changes in your beliefs and your philosophy, which will aid you to move forward in the right direction. Then also on that day there's an aspect from Venus. Venus makes 2 aspects, in fact, one to Chiron, one to Uranus. Now is a good time to get things out in the open. It's to discuss things with people and relate to people, and then use your better judgment, because with the Sun's aspect in that creative area, you can really use great judgment now. It will increase. Librans are good at making judgments because they can balance things out. So now you need to do this with your relationships with people. If there's anything that needs to be talked about, this is a good time to do it. Get things out in the open, discuss them, and then resolve them. On the 7th, we have an aspect between Saturn and Uranus, which lasts to the end of the month, so there's plenty of time to work with these energies on this one. Saturn's in your 5th house. Uranus is in the 8th house of transformation and change. So here we see Uranus desiring a lot of change, a lot of transformation. Saturn is more rigid. He's not so easily changed. He likes his routines and his organisation. So here in the 5th house, you've got to use your creativity. Your creativity to include Saturn, and to have structural changes and slow reforms rather than the quick change of Uranus. So these two can work well together if you can get creative structural change and not revolutionary change, because that won't do you any good. And being Libra, you need to keep in balance, so you've got to keep these two forces in balance. This is a square aspect, so it can cause some tension, and it lasts till the end of the month, so just beware of this and try and bring in creative change. Use your creativity, use your organisational skills of Saturn to get things in the right perspective, and not too much rebellious change from Uranus. On the 9th, Mercury makes an aspect to the Moon's nose. This is the second out of 4 connections this month. Now, Mercury is a planet of communication, so this time you can expect some kind of a sign or message from your unconscious or the spirit world about your future and the way you should be heading. On the 10th, it's a tricky one because Mercury squares Mars, and that's always irritability. Then on the 11th there's a new moon. New moon is in your 5th house in Aquarius, so this is a very forward-thinking new moon. This is a very original, unique, and you can have these sort of thoughts now. You can put them into creative use as well. This new moon works well with children as well, as it's in the 5th house. Most of all, your creativity, your juices will flow, and you can get networking done, you can get brainstorming done, anything to bring new ideas in with this new moon that you can sow seeds for the future. Also on the 11th, Venus makes 2 aspects. The first is a very agreeable aspect to Jupiter. It's a conjunction in your 5th house. Again, this is a creative aspect. It's also good for love and relationships, and it's very lucky financially as well. The other aspect, a square to the Black Moon Lilith, can bring new people into your life. It's an exciting time when you can try new things, and there'll be a little bit of drama and passion in your life. On the 12th, Mars makes a square aspect to Neptune. The Neptune's in your 6th house. So now you'll gain insight into your daily routines, maybe your health, maybe your diet, exercise, or whatever you do on a daily basis. Now, these insights could prove valuable, because it may be that some things you've been doing, some of your true routines, are not really serving the right purpose, and that you may be able to change them and enjoy a better life. So yeah, take this opportunity to look at this. This lasts for several days, so take a look at your routines and see where you're going. Also, you'll be a lot more chilled out, you'll be a lot more relaxed, and you'll have a more of a contemplative feel about you. So it's a good time to mull over these things, see where you can make improvements. The weekend of the 13th and 14th, it's going to be very difficult for you to express yourself. Mercury's in your 5th house of self-expression, but he's still retrograde, and he's just pushing that final bit before he goes direct on the 20th. So it's going to be a difficult weekend. It's going to be very hard to see the bigger picture. You may be engrossed in some fine detail which is unnecessary really, but don't get obsessed with things. Just let this weekend pass, chill out, and then Mercury will be, as I said, direct on the 20th. Then on the 15th, Venus makes a contact with the Moon's nose. This is the 3rd contact during February. We mentioned the other 2 earlier. And Venus is about desire, so this is a time of manifestation and to bring on your desires. It's also it's a time when you can check out your philosophy and your spiritual views and see if they're in line with what you believe now. Maybe you need to make some adjustments there, and this will help to bring more experience to you, new experiences, and also it's a good time to experience love, a higher level of love than you would normally. On the 19th, Venus makes a square with Mars. There's always a few fireworks when these two are in square aspect. Venus is in Aquarius now, which is going to make her a little bit more detached, whereas Mars is in the house of Scorpio, so he's going to be more passionate. So it could be either yourself or your partner who's one or the other, and this could cause a little bit of stress, so try and iron things out there. Then on the 20th, as we said earlier, Mercury goes direct, and this is good news because all planets will now be direct until the 23rd of May. So you've got 3 months to really really get things going and get in touch with the energy and get things moving. And no sooner than the 23rd, because Mars makes an aspect to Pluto, a positive aspect to Pluto, and now you can start the transformation, you can start the change. This is good for long-term planning. Pluto's in your 4th house, so you can now do long-term planning surrounding the home and what you want to do in the home. I know there's been a big focus on the home over the recent years, but there's still time for some transformations with Pluto there for another year. So this is a time to get that plan into operation, use the Mars energy and the Pluto transformation to creatively get things going. But just dampen the ego down a bit, because Pluto won't allow the Mars ego to take over. So just try to be a little bit more considerate of everybody, and let's do things for the whole of society and not just for ourselves. On the 24th, Jupiter makes the 4th and final attachment to the Moon's nodes. Now, this is by far the biggest and the best. This lasts for several days, so we're in a good position now to take advantage of this. Now, Jupiter contacting your North Node in the 9th house, which is the house of Jupiter, means you can change your beliefs now. You can change your spiritual and philosophical ideas about things. It's a good time to reinvent yourself, and you'll bring in new experiences in the future. There might be news about travel as well. Also, with this position of Jupiter, you can get yourself in the spotlight. You can go places now, because doors will open. This is a fantastic opportunity to take you forward in the future now. On the 25th, there's an aspect between the Sun and Uranus. Now, Uranus is in the 8th house, so this is going to give you added perception and insight into things. The Sun is in your 6th house, so this is going to be the area of your work, of your daily routines, your diet, fitness, health, whatever you do on a regular basis during the day. So there could be changes you can make here, some reforms to make your life a lot easier and a lot simpler. Then on the 27th, there's a full moon. This is quite a reflective full moon for you, because it's in your 12th house of Virgo. So it's a time you may want to withdraw and be secretive. You may not want to discuss things openly, but it's a good idea to discuss your deepest feelings with someone close to you, like a good friend, so you can give them a voice. It's also a good time to analyse things, because it's in Virgo. Analyse, and also to organise things in your head. Get your mind sorted. Take this opportunity to reflect. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe. If you'd like to leave a message, I'll be glad to hear from you.